Now let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Play ball!
Spurs decided yesterday to sack their coach, Ange, after winning them the Europa League title. The statement is that they are not happy with the league. What he did in the league, he lost about 22 games in the Premier League. That means winning the Europa League didn't excuse them for the terrible season they had, and they decided yesterday. They just had a meeting, quick meeting. It's not that Manchester United they are having 5 days meeting. They sat and decided that this is not enough for Spurs, and they decided to sack him immediately. So he was sacked immediately. I know Angie was even surprised because nobody expected that.
Of course, nobody expected that. But now season 3 has been cancelled.
Yeah,
season
3
don't cancel. Promoters don't shut down their.
What do you mean?
Don't shut down their pocket.
The question I want to ask is people are, for example, many are saying that Spurs had a better team like likes of Arsenal and all because they won a trophy. It doesn't matter where you finished in the league. But I always disagree about it because it doesn't show progress. As you said about Manchester United, we were talking about it. Manchester United are going down, but they win you FA Cup and Carabao Cup. You think that they are making progress?
Is okay, yes, but
something is wrong.
Yes,
the same thing with Spurs. I think the Levy, you can talk about their chairman or whatever you want to talk about.
Levy,
whatever I want to. But for me, he made the right choice. You cannot finish 17th on the table and keep your job. It doesn't make sense.
I disagree with you,
bros.
You can finish on 2 counts.
You can finish 21st on the table of 20 and still keep your job.
But
when it comes to Tottenham, you can finish 21st in a team of 20 and still finish and still get your job because one, the man came in, didn't get support because he needed players.
Thank you.
You get other managers have said the same thing. After my first 6 months, I need players. At the end of the day, they terminate their contract. Look at the managers that have come in. Even the
Conte.
Even the no, I'm not even going to call the ones recent. Even the Pochettino that stayed there for more than 3 years. Pochettino was begging for players and they got him below average players. And he managed to use those players to bring them to average. Not that he brought them to average and went to Champions League finals. And he himself, I don't know how his mental state was when he went to the Champions. And before the Champions League final, he said, whatever happens here, I have given all I could give. Imagine, they talk this kind of thing before Champions League final in 2019. That was his statement. Whatever happens here, I have given all I could give.
Thank you.
And after that season, Baba left Tottenham Hotspur.
Simple. And guess what? He wants something elsewhere.
Mourinho came in, said the same thing about the club, said the same thing about player mentality, said the same thing about club mentality, owners mentality, fan mentality. Even Angie last season said the same thing about fan mentality. That the only thing the fans want is to debate, and the same thing was what Ancelotti said about Everton. Yes. That the only thing they want to do is to beat Arsenal. So even if they don't win any trophy, let them just beat Arsenal and let the two of them just remain trophyless. They will be happy.
Okay, John.
So
now this is a team that wants to sack a manager. And you're telling me the manager will not be happy. I'll be proud.
Okay, John. What do you think?
I disagree with you. I feel like if anybody had told any sports fans anywhere in the world that in 2 seasons,
they'll win a trophy.
In 2 seasons they will finish 5th or 3rd, and then in the second season they will win a trophy, a European trophy,
not a
local trophy, something that they've not held their hands on in 40-something years. Somebody came around and made it happen. He deserved to be on the job. Now let me come back to you 2 points I disagree with you on. First and foremost, he had a fantastic season last season, right? Everybody knows that his style works. The players have already adapted. It works, and the team is moving fine. He was not backed as much as he should have been backed. They gave him, when you want to appease a child but you don't want to solve the child's problem, you give them sweets. They gave him Solanke and say, we sold Kano, but see Solanke and other problem, there other places.
We don't care.
We don't care. Now look at this season. You are
coming January reach, not give him Matistel.
You are not Matistel where they give him for January, and I say problem done already day.
No, now I talk now. Make no I say you got to give him Matistel.
I'm coming. There's a process to this stuff. Now, a team like Spurs going into the season, you have just 2 center halves.
No, they have more.
I'm coming. With the type of injuries they've had this season, at a point in time they had 11 players out. Where you want make the miracle come from? Where you want that miracle to come from? What's this man? Eric, one name Hang. Had the same issue at Manchester United. He was not asked because everybody could see that, bro, there's an injury crisis. He had the same injury crisis. At a certain point, they had 11 players out. Yes, these guys are coming back into the side. Yes, there were other issues within the team, like for example, him not changing the attacking formation, the high line, which was making people concede a lot of goals, exploit their defense and score. Yes, he didn't do that, but beyond that, he had an injury crisis.
Yes.
Second point upon which I disagree with you now. Ange Postecoglou in this job is a better fix as a manager for Tottenham Hotspur than any other person you're bringing in. Without proper funding, he delivered that top 4 finish or top 5 finish, whatever you want to call it, and he delivered a trophy. This season, Ange is out of a job because he knows that then Levy knows that Ange will come to him and ask him for money because they are in the Champions League.
Believe that.
Simple and short.
If they bought a player for a striker for him for almost £60 million, why wouldn't they buy?
Was that striker bought when Kane was around or when Kane had left?
Bro, the question I want to ask you.
Was it before Kane left or after Kane had left?
Your question is?
Okay, let me ask you a question. No matter how you want to see it, do you think that Spurs team, no matter how bad you want to talk about it, that Spurs team, no matter the injury, deserves to lose 22 games in a Premier League season?
Definitely. I will not trust outside Vicaro. Their next goalkeeper is a ton of baskets.
So you are telling me that other teams ahead of them have better squad than Spurs to finish ahead of them on the table. That's what you are telling me now.
Did you know how much West Ham spent for this man to drag them to relegation battle?
I'm just asking you a question.
Now, Godwin, I want to ask you. I'm answering your question. Do you know how much West Ham United spent for Lopetegui to take them to relegation battle? When Leicester City got promoted, did you know how much they spent to improve their team?
I think the two different things there is that depend on how you see your club. If Spurs sees their club as a big club, as a top 6 club, anything below top 10, they will sack you.
I'll give you an
example. If Amorim had the same season where he finished 17 next season, irrespective of how you talk about, they will sack him next season.
If he is not being backed this summer, because now players are leaving. If he's not being backed this summer,
even if they
even they don't. If he's not backed this summer,
let me see.
Wait. They will keep him in the job.
Okay, let me say they bought only Cunha and Bome for him. And he finished 17th on the table, they will sack him.
Now
it doesn't matter.
See, it depends on the goals you score.
It's better than finishing 17th, no matter how you want to see it.
Now, see, Spurs had more a better goal average than Man United. Goals scored than Man United, which means they were scoring more goals. Yes, they had about 60 something goals. Man United about 40 something. You get now. You want to use that as this thing, and we say Man United does not have the attacking options. At some point, all the attackers of Man United went on injury. You get Spurs had attacking options. Now you saw the attacking options come into play. Spurs scored about 60 something goals in the season. How many did Arsenal score? Arsenal have finished second on the table. How many they scored? They scored 60 something goals as well in the Premier League. Now look at Spurs scoring 61 goals in the Premier League. Arsenal scoring 69 goals. Just 8 goals different between the two of them. And one is finishing 17th on the table, while the other one is finishing second on the table.
They scored 64 goals and considered 65.
Now, look, I'm just telling you, they scored 64 or 61 because the last time I checked was 61. Now, they scored 61 goals. How many did Arsenal score?
69.
Now, 69 goals. Which means, I said 8 before. Now, you will reduce it to 5 between Spurs and Arsenal. And Spurs is finishing 17th or 18th, 17th on the table. Arsenal is finishing second on the table. What's that difference? Defense. And at the time of the season, the best defenders in the league, according to reports we had last season, was the defensive pairing for Tottenham Hotspur. Outside Arsenal, you have Van Dijk. If you're calling the best defenders in the league last season, you're calling Van Dijk, you're calling Konate, you're calling these two players at Arsenal, Saliba and Gabriel. The next pick is maybe Diaz at Man City. Then the next person after Diaz at Man City is Romero.
You are saying that
of Tottenham Hotspur. I'm giving you an option. Now, if you're calling the top 6 or top 10 defenders in the Premier League last season, you're calling 5 of these players from Man City, Liverpool. That's for Arsenal. The next person is Tottenham Hotspur. Romero. Of Tottenham Hotspur, and he went to Argentina to prove the same that he's good enough.
Yes.
Now you take him off the team, you're putting Dragosin.
Thank you.
Dragosin has been nowhere to position.
Okay.
Now outside that, you're talking about fullbacks in the league. You're talking about fullbacks in the league, and you have Pedro Porro and Udogie, who were fantastic last season and coming into this season. They all went out and you're putting a Spurs to play off.
So look, Godwin.
Now your midfield went on injury. Bisumas, Sa and Madison and all of that. Madison was part of the creative force in the midfield. Kulusevski and Bentancur, they all went on injury, and you have who to play for you. You have a Bergville, an academy graduate, and Wilson Odobot.
All this thing you're arguing now.
I'm just saying the way the injury hits them.
Look at where I'm coming from.
The way injury hits them, you will
now.
know.
Excuse me. Nobody is saying losing 22 games is not okay. Nobody is saying losing 22 games is not a bad thing. Man, you lost 18.
What are you saying?
Yes? Yes. Other teams have lost the same thing.
Even teams that finish ahead of them.
Excuse me, the difference between the team 17th and the team 10th is not much. It's not like years. It's the generally off season for teams that finish below the top 10. If you look at this table relative to last season's table, you are going to see that there's a general drop off in performance across all Premier League teams. But now let's hone in on one simple fact. This Tottenham FC squad they are talking about, the total players there are valued at 560 million pounds, right? Relative to top 5 teams in that EPL.
Let's go top 10.
Let's talk relative to top 5. They are the least valued team. And then if you now go into the financial side of the club is in a better position than most of these teams that are in the top 5. So you have a team that is financially stable, that can invest in players, that can improve themselves to challenge for the title, but they are self-sabotaging themselves every season by signing average players that are not good enough. How do you take away a Romero, you take away a Poro, you take away an Udogie?
Van der Ven.
Van der Ven. Let's not forget that most of these top guys that we are calling now came in as literally unknowns into the club for very good deals. You understand me? Their resale value is high right now. This sports team value should be at 300 million. Because when these guys came in, they came in for little. How do you remove these key guys now who have over-indexed and you are putting subpar players? Somebody said it somewhere, and I'll say it here again, that star players on an off day give you an average performance. Average players on an off day give you a shambolic performance, and that's what happened to Spurs season. You cannot pass the buck to the manager when there's no reinforcement.
Well,
and of course, it's his fault too in a lie, because we all know that Levy will never give him what he wants.
Levy
no give Mourinho,
no give
Conte. No give Conte,
he no give Pochettino.
Na ange go con give.
Well, at the end of the day, they sat and they decided to sack him because of the league. The way they saw the league, that losing 22 games was too much. Even though, and I think what part of the thing they looked at is their opponent they faced throughout the Europa League. Apart from Manchester United, their run to that Premier League, they played almost. I might even played better teams than them.
Bro, he won the trophy.
Yeah, he won the trophies. But Spurs decided to sack him. Levy sat down with the board. Yesterday, they just got the emergency meeting, sat down and decided that the league, the ange cannot be the man to take them forward again. Whether he was backed or not, that one is an internal problem for them to sort out. But now ange is out. There are 2 players. There are 2 coaches. They are going to look. They are looking to employ now at Spurs. Thomas Frank and Marco Silva. They are going to look at these 2 coaches if they are going to go to Spurs. But for Ange,
no.
Those are the worst options available in the market.
Thomas, please.
Ange would decided to.
Worst options available in the market.
Maybe I decided to sack Ange after winning them the Europa League title and qualifying them for the Champions League. The question is it right to are they right to in their right frame of mind, or they are right to sack Ange after winning the European title, even though they finished 17th on the table after losing 22 games? I know it's too much, but truthfully, as the guy said, he won them a trophy after so many years, and they had a whole of injury.
Even the trophy itself is not enough.
I understand where Levy is coming from too. If as I said again, if Manchester United finish a game 17th on the table, there is no way Amorim will keep their job and lose 22 games. There is no way, no matter what you say, that they didn't back him. Or
yeah, but let's not act as if that Ange just came to the club and in his first season finished 17th without any problem.
But let's not
act like that.
He mentioned all the problems in his first season.
The first season he had.
Well, apart from the whole thing, they decided to sack him because he finished, he lost in 2 games in the season. So good luck to him in any other job. I think I like him personally. I think he's a good man. He's a good guy. Whenever he does his interview, he says that he wins something in second season. He delivered, and he says that the third season is always better. But they don't cancel that. So good luck to him in the future, and good luck to Spurs too if they can find another good coach to replace him.